Hello everyone, it is your boy, back at it again with another video, and this time we're going to be talking about Martha Raye. Not Martha Stewart, Martha Raye. She's an interesting character. She was a Methodist back in the day, and then she had 7 husbands. And then she sang in like gay nightclubs, and then she was a Roman Catholic, and then she passed away. And we're going to be talking about her life and her testimony and all that stuff. So let's jump right into the video. So Martha Raye was born in August 27th, 1916, and she passed away on October 19th, 1994. Now, I was born in October 19th, 1998, so 4 years later, little old me was born. Yay! Here I am. So Martha Raye was a comedian, a singer, and an actress back in the 1940s and 50s, and she was also a Methodist. She attended church, she read her Bible, she even taught in a Sunday school. So yeah. She also sang in the USO, and she was a patriot, conservative that would love the troops. So the USO is a United Service Organization that boost morale and all that stuff, so they can go in there and sing. And apparently she also did like nursing and stuff, but that's only a rumor. But she did sing there. Yes, she was a singer, and that's what singers do. They sing for the troops. And like I said before, she was a Methodist. Now a Methodist is a Protestant Christian tradition that emphasizes personal faith and social justice and the importance of community. Key beliefs include the assurance of salvation, the necessity of grace, and the patience of good works. Now, this comes to like a really big surprise because she had 7 husbands, and she used to sing at like gay nightclubs, and she was a Methodist. Like, what's going on here? So, what happened here? Like, what's going on? So yeah, she had like 7 husbands during her lifespan. She married like Neil Liang, Mark Harris, Nick Condos, Mark Harris until she died in 1994 because of pneumonia. Now, when it comes to Martha Raye and her 7 husbands, we can admit that she was a colorful Christian lady because, 7 husbands means you're colorful as a Christian. But the way that she spoke and the things that she is quoted, and I'm going to show you one quote right now. I guess one thing she says, I guess that's fitting because as a Methodist, I am meant to be undetermined some of the time. I don't know. Anyway, less than 2 months later, she said, they tell me I've gone Hollywood already because I've got engaged to Johnny Torrance one day and then broke it off the next. Yeah, well, that's what Hollywood does. You marry somebody right over here and then you file for divorce the next day because that's how Hollywood works, man. That's what the Hollywood people do. They just file for divorce and get married and then get married and file for divorce. That's how Hollywood works. So, in all seriousness, we can see that Martha Raye was really into her career, like a lot. Like her parents had her up on stage at 3 years old, and she just continued on to perform throughout the rest of her life. She even performed at gay nightclubs as a Methodist. As a Methodist, Martha Raye went and performed at gay nightclubs. Now, the nightclubs that she performed at is called Spiffy's Roof. Well, in New York. New York. They had this nightclub where a lesbian owned it, and Martha Raye was a frequent visitor there or performer. We can also see here for evidence of Martha Raye being at Spiffy's Club by this book called The Ballad of John by Howard Parlock. We can see that it says that in the course of its 12-year existence, Spiffy's Roof presented singers Mabel Mercer and Thelma Carpenter, comedians Shella Barrett and Martha Raye. So Martha Raye was there as a performer, and we can see that here it is. Like, she showed up, and there's also news articles, newspapers, and all that stuff that you can find online about Martha Raye being at Spiffy's Roof. Because of her actions and her involvement with this gay nightclub in New York, rumors sparked that she was actually sleeping with other women. For example, Joan Crawford. Now, in the book, Joan Crawford's biography, we can see that late in her life, Martha Raye claimed that she had an affair with Joan when both were working at the USO during World War II. Most of the women Joan was attracted to were highly promiscuous or at least very sensual. Later on in the book, we can see that Joan was using her body to garner favors. But what favor could she have wanted from Raye? Was Joan responsive to Raye's lust, to her own narcissism? As intriguing as it is, it's more likely that this story was an example of a former star thinking they could get away with saying nearly anything about Joan's behavior. So, like I said, it's like rumors. You do whatever you want with it, but like I said, it's just take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt, man. So we can see these rumors are piling up in Martha's life, and some of the rumors were that she was having relationships with Dorothy Esner and Marilyn Monroe. Dorothy Esner, she was German. Okay, she was a German lesbian. Okay. Anyway, so we can see in Martha's life that she was a Methodist, a Christian that believed in the Bible, taught Sunday school, but she was a performer as well. And I think she got caught up in the Hollywood lifestyle, the fame, the fortune, and seeking approval and affirmation by the wrong people. Now we can see this at Spiffy's Roof, that when Martha would go there, rumors started speculating that she was actually bisexual, even though she was a Methodist and taught Sunday school and all that stuff. So we can see here in your own personal life that you shouldn't really be going to gay nightclubs if you are a Christian, because that's just crazy. Don't do that. And don't have 7 husbands either. Now she was very spontaneous, very outgoing, very colorful, but her faith was definitely not there, because if she believed in God, she would just keep her husband and not go to a gay nightclub to perform as a comedian or as a singer or anything like that. She would stay away from her sin, but she indulged herself in sinful behavior. Her seven husbands performing at gay nightclubs and all that stuff. It says run away from these places. Do not be around sin. But I think she was so caught up in her career that she ended up going to these places and performing and being caught up in Hollywood, seeking affirmation, seeking approval from these places. More evidence to support this would be the fact that she tried to do away with herself when she filed for divorce with her 5th husband, and her show got canceled. So she was really down in the dumps, and her life was falling apart at this point. Now, at the end of her life, she was plagued with bad health. She lost circulation in her legs, and she developed pneumonia. So at the end of her life was very unfortunate. Now, I'm not going to question her salvation or not. That's between her and God. But at the end of her career, she did pick up her cross and became a Roman Catholic. Now, that's saying something anyway. But she did end up believing in God in the very end, picking up her cross and believing again. So I'm going to close this video right now. It's going to be the end of the video. But we can see in Martha's life, in the beginning, Martha Raye was a Methodist. She believed in God. She read her Bible. She even taught at the Sunday school. She was a Christian woman. Now, after her career started to get going and she started, being around certain circles, and these circles were Hollywood circles. These circles were sinful. There were sinful people there, lesbians, bisexuals, the sexual immoral people. She was performing at Spiffy's Roof, which was owned by a lesbian. So these places influenced her, and we can see that through her life after she went through 7 marriages and she tried to do away with herself. Now, why she tried to do away with herself? It was because she was so focused on her career, she lost sight of God. Because her 5th marriage was ended up in a divorce, and her television show was canceled. So she was probably ended up in the dumps, and she just said screw it and took a bunch of sleeping pills, and by the miracle of God, she was saved from her own attempt. Now, at the end of her life, like I said, she was plagued with bad health, but she did pick up her cross again and believed in God by converting into Roman Catholic. Now, I'm not going to debate you if Roman Catholics are saved or not. Let's just say she believed in her heart that Jesus was Lord, and she confessed with her mouth that Jesus was Lord, and believed in her heart that he was resurrected from the dead. She was saved by the biblical standpoint. So, I hope you guys learned something new in this video, and peace out, players. See ya.